Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dennis and welcome back to the Art Survival video. And today I will show you 5 things that you must have in your inventory at all time. These are, just for emergency. You probably will not see other stuff here that is just as important, but keep in mind that the key word is emergency, which means that it is for emergency stuff. And yeah, I guess we'll start. Number one, I mean, it's already been here. You can already tell what these are. I will give explanation why. But number one, we have this one, which is called Alpha Ceylon. What is Alpha Ceylon? It is actually a medicine where, as it describes here, cures all diseases, injuries, and negative effects. Now, what does that do? And why should you bring this, as an emergency at all time? Well, one, it actually weighs nothing, like only 5 grams. You're probably, when you get alpha salon, when you have alpha salon already, I feel like you already have like truck or cars or stuff that can, suit you for tons of stuff, and which means that 5 grams really means nothing, right? So yeah. Now, why does alpha salon need it the most? Sometimes you go to, travel around, you go on adventure around the world, for instance, the world map. Maybe you travel towards Berlin, maybe you go back to the Zapolyarny area, maybe you go to the northeast, to the this over here, because there's actually a not grindable, because there was actually a location there with the event stuff. Maybe you want to go here for the scamp area. Well, maybe you go to the Japan, right? Because it's like one of the main quest or side quests where you need to get the nuclear battery for your Pelas. Um, Maybe again, not maybe, actually you have to go to Japan, so that is a long travel. And along the travel, maybe you got encountered by strong bandits and you got injured, or maybe you also want to do other stuff as well in between, like maybe conquering all these bandit base. Because you go to the Japan as well, might as well do the scam, right? Maybe for the rewards. And maybe during those battles you got yourself injured, like maybe you have a bullet wound in your head, in your arm, or legs, or maybe you get some acid burn from the piece, or maybe you get yourself food poisoning because you ate rotten food, or maybe you got yourself dysentery because you drink dirty water, or maybe because you what is it, like oh, I forgot. I wanted to say something. Maybe you get yourself alcoholism because you drink lots of wine, for instance, or vodka, because you need to clear those radiation. And what is the best way to do that? Well, yeah, the alcohol. And but you drink too much and you got yourself alcoholism, which has a very negative effects. And how do you want to clear those debuff? Well, you just drink alpha Ceylon. um, instead of going back to the NPC, that will take time. And yeah, you probably just, what, let's just use this emergency item, Alpha Ceylon, and yeah, use that, and all those negative effects just got removed instantly. And also your health, your food bar, I think, and then there is also water, energy, everything got cured to the max. And yeah, that is such a strong medicines. That's why I include this in the emergency stuff that you must carry, because again, you have no idea when you will get injured the most. And instead of losing one level, you just do this. So yeah. And the next one, we have Aqua Vitae. This is kind of the same but different from Alpha Ceylon. Aqua Vitae, it doesn't remove any negative effects, but as you can see over here, it actually has a lingering effect, which is outstanding health. What's the effect? It will increase your health, food, water, and energy buy those amount every hour. And yeah, that is actually very great, which means that if you travel a long way and you don't want to stop that often every now and then just to replenish your health, or your food, your water, energy, it's just better for you to use aqua vitae for emergency stuff, so that you don't actually have to stop as often. And yeah, it's just a great stuff. Then you probably ask, why don't you just use Alpha Ceylon? Well, Alpha Ceylon is kind of expensive, honestly. The way you got Alpha Ceylon is actually over here. You need 7 of this Aqua Vitae to get yourself one. So it's kind of it's kind of expensive, right? So if you just want to replenish your health, food, water, just use Aqua Vitae instead of Alpha Ceylon, because it's cheaper. Like literally Alpha Ceylon is 7 of these. So yeah, why don't you just use this individually, right? So yeah, I actually use this a lot of time as well, just because when I want to travel. So yeah, it's an emergency stuff as well. um, so that you don't just use Alpha Ceylon to replenish your stuff, or just stop that often, like hunt animals, cook their meat, eat their meat, drink, and maybe use some cigarettes, and then yeah, you just go continue your journey, which is slow in my opinion. So yeah. Next, we have these two over here, number 3 and 4. We already mentioned about these in separate video. It's about emergency vehicle you must carry all the time, which is bicycle with cart and also electric car. There might be other stuff as well from the event, but those stuff are from the event, so I'm not gonna include those over here. I'm talking about the magic carpet actually. Those doesn't need gasoline. So yeah, what are the main selling points for this in your inventory? Well, it's for emergency. Sometimes it actually happened to me myself as well, quite few amount of times. Sometimes I don't take a look at my gasoline stock and also my diesel stock in my inventory, and yeah, I'm just traveling. And at one point I got surprised that my vehicle doesn't you know didn't actually work. What happened there? Well, it turned out that I ran out of gasoline and also diesel, so that's why my vehicle stopped moving. Now, in this situation, that is very bad. It depends on how close you are to the NPC, but still, even if you're like quite approximate, then it's still gonna be difficult for you, because you actually have to walk, right? Because you don't have any other vehicle. That's why I suggest that you bring those two vehicle with you at all time, because bicycle with cart, it doesn't require any gasoline. You just use this. Now you probably can tell that it doesn't have lots of carrying capacity, but for new players actually, having this is actually very great, because you don't have car. Even if you do have car, you need the gasoline and it's kind of expensive. So using bicycle with cart sometimes is a better opportunity. So yeah. And then the next is electric car. It's kind of the same situation, with the difference is that electric car has more carrying capacity than just bicycle with a cart, which means that if you use this, it's not gonna have as much as you currently have, because it only has 750 kilograms, not even 1 ton, but still it will help for sure. And as you can see, it doesn't require gasoline or diesel whatsoever. That's why you have to carry this at all times, just in case you forgot about your diesel, gasoline, and then you're out of those and you cannot go anywhere. But because now you have these two, then you can start using them as emergency from your inventory. So yeah. And the final one, the fifth one, it's not necessarily this weapon, but it's the idea that you should always bring yourself secondary weapon that you don't use often, but you just carry it at all times. Now, if you're players that like to hoard stuff in your inventory, you probably already did this, but this is for general people, I guess. That having secondary weapons is always a great idea because the other day I used PKM, I used Saipuha a lot of times to grind Queen Bee and stuff like that, until at one point I realized that, oh wait, what? I only have a few rifle ammo left. When I beat like when I grind for the events, for instance. I got surprised that I no longer had rifle ammo in my inventory. So, I was a little bit panicked because how am I gonna beat these enemies, right? So, yeah. Then this comes the emergency weapon because the idea is that emergency weapon is a weapon that you don't always use. So you will know that it will always be available in your inventory. So in a case that you run out of rifle ammo, for instance, you still have your spare weapons. And in this case, in my case, that is assault rifle ammo. Why assault rifle ammo? Because their weapons are kind of strong. It's like after the rifle weapons or machine gun, there's this assault rifle ammo. So yeah, it's very useful in my opinion because again I never use this, which means that I will always have this ammo and the weapon in my inventory at all time. So yeah. Um, you can just if out of nowhere you're out of rifle ammo, you forget, then you still have spare weapons. Or if you're low level, if you have like for instance if you have assault rifle weapon, like for instance AK-74 for instance, right? So now you probably want to get yourself some pistols, with pistol ammo. You just have that in your inventory. Just because you have better weapons doesn't mean that you have to throw away your old weapons because obviously in this case, it's for emergency, like for when you're out of ammo for your main weapon, or if your weapons actually break and you don't have any other weapons, and now you have the secondary weapon that you still prepare. So yeah, that is the idea. So yeah, that is the number five, and actually the final item. um, so far I feel like those five items are the emergency stuff that you must carry at all times in your inventory. So yeah. But anyway, I think that for this one, let me know if you also suggest other items as well. Keep in mind that the keyword is emergency because I did other video the other day, the other few months ago actually. I did video about emergency vehicle, and I found a comment that said that what about this vehicle? Why don't you have that? Well, the point of that is that it's an emergency vehicle for when you're out of gas. That's why I put that there. It doesn't make any sense if I just bring other vehicle that requires fuel as well, because again the basic concept is that what are you going to do if you're out of fuel, right? If you're out of fuel, those vehicles will mean nothing to you. That's why I suggest these two, which is electric car and bicycle with cart. So yeah, but anyway, I think I'll be for this one. Again, let me know if you have other things as well with the keyword of emergency. Only use, oh, my battery is down. Only emergency stuff that you will need in dire need, basically. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, healthy. I will see you again tomorrow with another TR survival video. But until then, see ya.